I think what makes it special is kind of all of the above. I think that you get access to people you wouldn't normally get access to. You get to hear conversations you wouldn't normally have access to those conversations. I'm Joe Nichols, and I am the MC for TEDxVancouver 2010. It's always interesting. It sometimes walks the line. Sometimes it's really shocking. Sometimes it's really lighthearted and fun.
Right.
And I like the fact that it's kind of like almost like a book of short stories. You buy a book of short stories, and there's all kinds of different topics, and there's different journeys you go on, and each one is different. And just from what we saw today, we've gone from human rights in Tehran. And then we kind of sashayed over to having, how to effectively tell stories and what matters in telling stories to make sure that it's heard. It's more than listening, you have to hear it. And then you segue into Generation Y. And it all kind of rolls down to one common theme for me, is it's the power of people as a collective.
Okay, so I guess my biggest role is really overseeing the event as a whole. So with that comes who's coming on board when it comes to gifted kind sponsors, who we're working with for catering, what creative ideas and concepts are we going to have in the breakout sessions in the lobby, what venue are we going to hold the event at, how are we going to deal with registration, how are we going to hire volunteers, how are we going to manage that the day of. So it's really kind of everything that falls under the event. What I have been most excited about by being part of this and what I've taken from it is the people, the energy that you're surrounded by continuously. Even with this year versus last year, the amount of people that know what TED is and that are excited to be part of it makes it always fun.
My full name is Peter Helm. I'm the broadcast director for TEDx. We're doing the stream and the cuts for the different talks. It's totally a group effort. I mean, there's some amazing people that are attached to this, and I think TED just sort of tends to attract thinkers, people that are curious about the world, curious about what other alternative ideas are out there. So it attracts a really interesting crowd to begin with. And it is a complex thing that we're doing. It's both a event of the day, and we're also doing a broadcast thing as well. But we're really with the right kind of people. Everyone knows how to multitask. Everyone has a lot of experience working in different technologies. So while it is a sort of challenge to sort of meet all the different needs, we're working with just the right people to do that.
I'm Mark Starkey, and I lead creative direction and partnership development for TEDxVancouver. So I've spent the last, year and a half since we started TEDxVancouver helping to build partnerships with local vendors and agencies, both on the creative side and the financial side, and just doing the best we can to build some authentic partnerships to put on a world-class event. TED and TEDx are I think, obviously collectively very, very special things in my personal life, but also something that allows, I think, all of us collectively to share information. Now, there's been a lot of platforms that have existed in human history that allow people to share information, but there's been equally as many that are more closed, and TED offers that experience where you can share a lot of that kind of stuff. I think one of the biggest joys of my role on the team is that I get to help build that experience of what it feels like when people walk through that door of our event. And being able to do that in an event like TED, where there's ideas that are going to be shared and just are open to the world, is very, very special.
I'm Paul Sammartino, a writer for Academy. Yeah, ideas, eh? It all starts with ideas. Ideas are the genesis of action, right? So, idea grabs a hold of your mind, and it's a little bit like the Matrix. A splinter drives you mad unless you act on it, right? You get an idea, and you gotta act, right? If you're passionate, and you get passionate people, and they come together, they can. And that's been the topic of some of the talks today. You can do anything. You can affect change.
Yeah. My name's Keith Fleimer. I'm a graphic designer as well as an illustrator, cartoonist, and a musician. I work out at UBC, and I've been inspired by conferences like this for a long time. I've seen the TED videos online. I've been to a few similar conferences, and I've always been a fan of this sort of thing for years. And watching it grow has been pretty cool. So I just want to be a part of it.
Crystal Gabriel. I'm here at TEDxVancouver 2010. Well, I think think in the true spirit of TEDx, I mean, I'm feeling totally inspired. Everybody, the speakers are phenomenal, new perspectives on everything. It's kind of shaken up my thoughts on the topics that they've been talking about, and the people. I mean, the atmosphere and the energy here is phenomenal. Being surrounded by extremely ambitious people with crazy ideas that are going to happen is amazing.
Sure. My name is Attendee. I'm the operations director for the TEDx Vancouver team. Kind of oversee the general project plan and take a little bit extra on the side with handling some of the website responsibilities as well as the production team. TEDx is a big part of my life because I like TED a great deal. There's a lot of conferences and a lot of different follows and blogs and RSS feeds and all that type of stuff where you see news that's really filtered for you, stuff that you're interested in. But what I love about TEDx is that it brings you all this stuff that you never would have seen before. Things that are totally outside of your discipline, whether it's, dinosaurs or crazy, anthropological studies, but, as kind of a business and software guy, I'd never have any of that stuff come up in my day-to-day. So it's really cool to see all that.
Whitney Stanford, and I'm helping with the media relations. I'll be helping a lot with the media relations, so escorting journalists throughout the event, helping them with any questions they may have, or if they want to speak with any of the presenters. I'll also be helping with some of the day of logistics and events planning.
Ryan Wilson, I'm the technical director. Basically to ensure that the organization's objectives are taken care of from a technical perspective. So, for example, we were doing a live stream to the internet, and the local internet connection at the facility wasn't suitable for broadcasting video live to people that want to watch TEDx who aren't going to be able to attend the actual event. I think it's an opportunity for me to use my skills to help spread ideas that are worth spreading. Yeah. So you fix your time, or you help the world by volunteering your time for people that maybe are less fortunate than you, and this is a method of sort of me improving the world, doing something that I have particular skills and talent at, as opposed to just giving my time or my money.
My name is Dorian Banks. I'm CEO of MetroBridge, and for TEDx I've put in the broadband connection and the Wi-Fi network for the conference, for webcasting and for general blogging and Wi-Fi use. TED's interesting. You watch the talks, and some of them are mind-blowing, some of them are moving. Some of them inspire you, as they have me. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had over 60 different startups in my life, and I consider the ideas for my startups to come from all areas, from books, from my environment, from reading from my friends, and watching things that type of videos and talks that TED puts out. And it's what makes somebody well-rounded, makes them a generalist, makes them understand the planet a bit better. Maybe every talk isn't speaking to you personally, but the majority sure are, whether you know it or not. And that's what I love. And I was able to come to the table, and like everything, I follow through at 100% or better. And we pulled it off, and it's going great.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Scott Gray. I'm with Metropolitan Fine Printers. I'm director of brand, and with the TEDx team, basically came in board right at the very beginning when friend Kevin Carroll, co-speaker at last year's event, called me up and says, "You got to meet these guys. They're crazy people, and anytime he's spoken to me about anything, it's a must-do." Well, with Kevin specifically, I met him probably 6 years ago when we printed his first book. He had just broken out from Nike, became his own brand, The Catalyst, KC, and it was the strangest phone call. I phoned him up to say thank you for the job. It was given to me third hand by his designer, and first thing he said is, "Well, you have to meet me." And I just thought, that's an odd thing to say, and sure enough, we met 2 days later. He flew up from Portland, came in and brainwashed our entire organization. And I think that was kind of a tipping point. So I keep bouncing ideas off him, and he says, "That's a great idea. You got to stick to the message, and just getting that out." And so, TEDx is all about message, right? And just ideas. And so since then, I just finished the TED Global Conference Guide, went on in Oxford, just wrapping up the TED Women's Guide this week, doing Design Mind magazine for Frog Design, who's TED Global's designer. I am so hooked into it, and I don't think I can escape it, which is fine. I'm totally excited about it. So it's just a matter of getting this great group of people, learning how to communicate with a broader sense, and ultimately getting people like you tell my story, because it sounds legitimate when you do it. Yeah. If I go and say, "Hey, look at me, I'm a great printer," who cares, right?
I'm Alex Bain, and my company is Tangible Interaction. I worked as a designer, so marketing and advertising for a long time, and I always wanted to do the stuff that I do today. And one of the reasons why I just did it is because I've been watching so many TED Talks, and then it really influenced me to just going out and doing what I want to do. So of course, when somebody calls me, hey, we want to use your stuff for TED, it's like I'm all over it. Yeah, like we do a lot of research and development, and that's what I love doing. And a lot of people that talk at TED are they're just researchers. They develop ideas, and so whenever anybody talks about TED, I'm all over it. I just want to be part of it. So this is how we can contribute to it. Yeah.
My name is Chris Krug, and I'm on the TEDxVancouver organizing committee in the role of an advisory board member. Mostly handle photography and documentation, as well as community management. Well, Vancouver's got a great creative technology scene in general, but TEDxVancouver goes beyond that, right? And it really is ambitious in some ways, and it tries to break out of a lot of silos. So there's the Hollywood North silo of entertainment companies and Hollywood groups who are up here making films and effects and stuff. And then there's this Web 2.0 silo that's really doing well. We got Hootsuite, we had Flickr that sold to Yahoo. We have a great Web 2.0 scene. We got this whole non-profit social justice scene led by the Renewal Venture Capital Fund and Joel Solomon and those guys. And I really see TEDxVancouver as trying to take all those people, put them in a bag, shake it up, and kind of see what happens. So that's what gets me the most excited about it, is its ability to just kind of look beyond traditional perspectives and borders, and really kind of put everyone together.